Good day everyone, I am Trudy and Blake, your safety coordinator. Today we are going to go through our PPE guideline, that is our personal protective equipment guideline. Under the PPE guideline, everyone has a role and responsibility to play. For the quality, safety, security and environmental team, our roles and responsibilities are to recommend and select the required personal protective equipment for the task that you will be carrying out. We are also required to analyze the hazards that are present in the task that you are carrying out to see if the personal protective equipment that are available offers the correct protection. We are also required to review our programs to identify gaps and make recommendations where necessary. The procurement unit is responsible to acquire the approved personal protective equipment based on specifications from the QSSC unit, also to maintain supply of those PPE, distribute and maintain documentation of the PPEs distributed. The HR and IR team are responsible for ensuring that you receive your PPE after you have completed your orientation session. They are also required to provide you with the terms of care for your personal protective equipment. It is also important to note that if you lose your PPE at any time, that you will be liable to stand 50% of the cost for replacement. Your manager and supervisor, their role and responsibilities are to ensure that you wear the required PPE for the task that you are carrying out. They should also assess the need for additional personal protective equipment if necessary. For example, if you are carrying out a new job task that requires additional protection, they should assess the need for that and ensure that you have the required protection. They are also responsible to conduct trainings where necessary for the use of that PPE. As employees, we are required to wear the PPE issued to maintain proper care, to report damage where necessary, and to attend trainings so that we can know how to use them, when to use them, and their limitation. The PPE guideline also tells the standards and requirements for their use and issuance. For non-operational staff, the PPE required in those areas, in the administrative areas, for example, is your eye visibility vest. For entry into Kingston Freeport Terminal, the main PPEs that are required are your helmets, your eye visibility vests, and your safety shoes. For operational staff who are exposed to hazards within the operational area, they are required to wear their helmets, eye visibility vests, safety shoes, and additional protective equipment where required. For example, if you are carrying out work at height where there is a risk of fall from elevation of a vertical drop of 6 feet or greater, you are required to have fall protection in place. One example of a fall protective equipment would be your harness. All of these PPEs are governed by standards from different regulatory bodies such as OSHA, the American Society for Testing and Materials, NIOSH, and other industrial standards. Training, maintenance, and inspection is also a requirement under the PPE guidelines. We must be trained on how to use our PPEs, when to use them, and what the limitations are. We should also know how long they should be used for, when they need to be replaced, their effectiveness, and what the manufacturers specify. It is also important to note that you can be cited for failure to wear your personal protective equipment in the operational zones. There are two forms related to our PPE guideline, which are the PPE daily issue form and our PPE lost, stolen, damage report form. In terms of non-compliance, if we are found in breach of the PPE guideline, we may be subject to disciplinary actions. In conclusion, PPE safeguard our lives. We must wear them to protect ourselves and ensure that we are compliant with our regulatory obligations.